Romance of the Three Kingdoms Chapter 4. Dong Zhuo overthrows the Emperor Xiao and installs Xiao's brother as emperor. Cao Cao tries to assassinate Dong Zhuo with a bejeweled dagger. Dong Zhuo leaps towards Yuan Xiao but at the last moment is wisely restrained by Li Ru, his advisor. "Don't act like this when all still hangs in the balance," he says. Yuan Xiao, firmly gripping his sword, is thus able to leave, honor intact. Piling up his official papers publicly at the gate as a sign of his disdain for the rule of Dong Zhuo, he takes refuge in the provinces. Realizing he has overstepped the mark, Dong Zhuo's counselors recommend that, to pacify Yuan Xiao, Dong Zhuo make him the governor of Bohai district. This he does. In late summer of AD 1893 in the Hall of Worthy Virtue, in the presence of the 15-year-old Emperor Xiao, Dong Zhuo unveils his plan. With his sword in his hand, Dong Zhuo addresses the greatest and most powerful men in the land. "This son of heaven is weak and untrustworthy and is not worthy to reign over those of us who live under heaven," he declares. "Today I have ordered a proclamation to be published and announced concerning the future." Li Ru then reads out the proclamation. It tells how, at the death of the late emperor, people had held high hopes for the young Prince Bian as new emperor, but these soon faded. His mother the Empress had also failed to show the wisdom everyone had hoped for, and the tragic death of the Empress Dong had shocked the people. Heaven and earth were in distress at all this. In contrast, he reads, Prince Xia is saintly, virtuous and wise, conducting himself with dignity from the period of mourning onwards. Everyone under heaven knows this, and this is why the emperor will now be deposed and made Prince of Hongnong, his mother relieved of all responsibilities and Prince Xia enthroned. And so it is. Only one man opposes this, and he is beheaded there and then. Prince Xia is enthroned, and the former emperor, his mother and his consort are all shut away in the Palace of Perpetual Harmony, where no one is allowed to visit them. The young former emperor reigned only from the 4th month to the beginning of the 9th month. The new emperor takes the reign title of Xian and he is just 9 years old. Dong Zhuo becomes the prime minister, though it is noted that he displays none of the customary respect towards his emperor. Life for the deposed emperor, his mother and his consort goes from bad to worse. They are half-starved and weep without ceasing. One day, when the former emperor sees a pair of swallows flying past the window, he writes this poem. At dawn, the grass itself is fresh and awake. Swallows soar into the sky, weaving their delicate pattern. Beyond lies the river Luo, dark at the horizon. People are moved by this wondrous sight. But not us. For beyond that horizon are the palaces and courts which are no longer ours. At such a time, who is loyal, who is honorable? Who can lift this heavy burden from my heart? These words are reported back to Dong Zhuo, who immediately orders Li Ru to murder the former emperor, his consort and his mother. Li Ru arrives at their home where they are imprisoned and offers them poisoned wine to drink. Knowing what it is, and that they are going to die, the former emperor sings this sad song. Earth is greater than heaven now. The sun and moon change places. Once I ruled over everything. Now I live on the edges. My life is abbreviated. Seized by others. This disaster is great. And I grieve in vain. To this his consort replies. The star of heaven falls. The earth itself declines. Married to this man, the emperor, I go where he goes. Life and death divide. Each goes its separate way. It's so quick. My heart of hearts breaks. Li Ru is furious. He flings the former emperor's mother out of the upper window. He has the former emperor's consort strangled before his horrified eyes. And he forces the poisoned wine down the former emperor's throat. With them dead, Dong Zhuo knows no constraints. For example, one day he takes his troops to a nearby village where the people are in the midst of holding a festival. Surrounding the village, he has more than 1,000 men beheaded and then he enslaves the women and children. The heads are displayed on the sides of the wagons bringing the women back to Luoyang. Dong Zhuo claims he has won a famous victory over rebels and then he sells the women and children to his troops. Word of these brutalities travels as far as Yuan Shao, who is in the provinces. Writing to his friend the Minister of the Home Office, Wang Yun, he urges him to organize the overthrow of Dong Zhuo. When he receives the letter, Wang Yun invites a group of men whom he suspects also want the removal of the corrupt Dong Zhuo. Under cover of a birthday party, they discuss the terrible state of affairs. It is at this point that Cao Cao steps forward. If he could be given Wang Yun's 7-jeweled dagger as the implement and inducement, he says he will stab Dong Zhuo to death. The jeweled dagger is handed over, and everyone present nervously but hopefully drinks to the success of Cao Cao's plan. Armed with the precious dagger, Cao Cao makes his way to Dong Zhuo's palace, where he finds Dong Zhuo. He is now so fat he has to lie reclining on a couch. Asked why he is so late, Cao Cao replies that his horse is unfit for travel, whereupon Dong Zhuo orders Lu Bu, his golden recruit from Ding Yuan's army, and the new owner of red hair, to go and find him a fine new one. Now that he is left alone with Dong Zhuo, Cao Cao draws his dagger and moves towards him. But Dong Zhuo catches sight of him in a mirror and turns. "What are you doing?" he calls out. In terror, Cao Cao drops to his knees. Thinking quickly, he offers up the beautiful dagger with both hands. "This is a present for your honor," he mutters. Dong Zhuo appears delighted with such a gift. At just this moment Lu Bu returns, having found a horse. Dong Zhuo and Cao Cao go outside to view the horse. Expressing huge gratitude, Cao Cao asks if he might try the gift horse out. As soon as the saddle and reins have been put on, Cao Cao springs upon its back and without a backward glance rides at full tilt out of the palace gate. Watching him go, Lu Bu and Dong Zhuo find that they agree. They both suspect that, rather than wanting to present the dagger as a gift, Cao Cao meant to murder Dong Zhuo. Summoning Li Ru, they discuss what to do and decide to send soldiers to track him down. The soldiers don't find him, but guards at the eastern gate report that he fled the city at a mad gallop, claiming he was on a special mission for Dong Zhuo. Realizing he has narrowly avoided an assassination plot, Dong Zhuo is incandescent with rage. A huge reward is offered for the capture of Cao Cao, and his portrait is circulated far and wide. Cao Cao rides pell-mell towards his home region of Qiao. Passing through Zhongmu County, he is recognized and arrested by the local magistrate, Chen Gong. However, the magistrate has no intention of sending his captive back to the palace. Instead, he asks why he is in such a hurry. Expecting to be sent for execution the next day, Cao Cao simply tells the truth. "I no longer wish to serve a tyrant like Dong Zhuo," he says. "And I was returning to my home to rally men to overthrow him." Hearing this, Chen Gong frees Cao Cao and offers to come with him. They set out together in disguise. They travel for 3 days until they come to the area of Qinggao. "One of my father's sworn companions lives near here," Cao Cao says. "His name is Lu Bosch. He's like an uncle to me. He'll give us somewhere safe to stay." And, sure enough, when the two men turn up, Lu Bosch makes them welcome. He tells Cao Cao that the court has sent soldiers to intimidate his father into revealing where Cao Cao is hiding. Making his guests comfortable, Lu Bosch realizes that he has run out of wine. So he tells them he is going to ride over to the next village to buy some, but that they should just rest. Not long after he has left, the two men overhear voices in the backyard of the house. What alarms them most is the sound of knives being sharpened. "You know, he isn't a blood relative," whispers Cao Cao anxiously. "So perhaps this is all a trick and he's gone off to betray us." So saying, the two men creep around the side of the house and listen. "Let's bind first and then kill," says a voice, confirming Cao Cao and Chen Gong's worst fears. Without hesitation they rush round the corner with their swords drawn. They kill everyone there, 8 people, men and women alike. Only when they search the house do they discover to their horror a pig trussed up, ready to be slaughtered. "Cao Cao, we've murdered innocent people," Chen Gong says, aghast. Distraught, they flee from the house and have only gone about half a mile when they meet their host, Lu Bosch, riding back from his expedition to the village to buy wine. Surprised to see his guests already leaving, he implores them to stay, saying he has ordered a pig to be slaughtered to feed them, and even if hunted men cannot rest long anywhere, they would be safe tonight at least. But Chow Chow brushes past, not saying a word, while the astonished man calls out to him to turn back. Suddenly Chow Chow does exactly that. He turns back, draws his sword, and before the terrified old man can say a word, Chow Chow cuts him down. He falls dead from his mount. Chen Gong is horrified. What happened back at the house was a terrible accident, but this was cold-blooded murder. Why, he asks. Don't you understand? Chow Chow answers. Once he got home and saw what had happened, he would have set up a hue and cry. A mob would have come after us, and they would have killed us. But to murder an innocent man is wrong, Chen Gong remonstrates. I would rather defeat the world than have the world defeat me. Chow Chow snarls back. Chen Gong says nothing but broods upon what has happened. Later that night he says to himself, I thought Chow Chow was a good man, but now I realize he's as vicious as a wild beast. If I don't kill him, he'll go on to bring more misfortune to others. And this is why he draws his sword. Can Chow Chow survive? Read on, and find out.